when we take a look at the meaning of legal, we know it is used in opposition to what is natural. So legal will always lead to the terminology of fiction. Uh, the whole idea of debt is a concept uh, when we go away from what is truth. And so legal title feigns what is truth and what is natural and what comes from the source of life. So it works in error, and it works in penalty, and it works in fee. The title here, legal debt is canceled, is reflected in Scripture because the legal system is a mirror of what was in the past under the law of man, not the laws of God. So the Mosaic Code would be a good example of it. It was down a direction that you could earn your salvation. That it was not based on grace or a gift from God. It was based on something that is not given or forgiven. It is based on something that you would have to act indebted for. So we're taking on literally something that's very contrary to the message of the Bible, the message of God, and therefore, yes, there is an inducement that's caused this. But when we read Colossians 2:13-15, and I'm just reading out of the New American Standard because it's very direct. It says, verse 14 says, having canceled out the certificate of debt consisting of decrees against us and which was hostile to us, and he has taken it out of the way, having nailed it to the cross. Now, when we go to other versions, I'm not saying that I would use all these versions, but they're it's quite interesting the fact that they've worded this scripture in different ways, but it gets to the same point. So the New International Version says, having canceled the charge of legal indebtedness. Now, the legal title is the charge name. It's the debtor name, and we've explained that so much through definitions that you can find in different dictionaries. We know it's fiction. It's a name. A surname is a name added to one's real name. It's a legal title. It's not a natural title. It doesn't come from your parents. It's actually something assumed, not something that is a fact, and therefore it operates by voluntary assumption. The New Living Translation stated he canceled the record of the charges against us and took it away by nailing it to the cross. The English Standard Version says by canceling the record of debt. So when your given name even appeared on the statement of birth record your parents filled out, it automatically is an act of God which discharges liability, just cancels it right out. So the English Standard Version says, by canceling the record of debt that stood against us with its legal demands, then he set it aside, nailing it to the cross. The Berean Bible stated, having canceled the debt ascribed to us in the decrees that stood against us. Now remember, surname is opposite because it's fiction. It's a lie. And that's not truth. So it's absolutely opposite to what God's original purpose was when he created man, because he made man in his image. He created them both male and female. If they're made in his image, I'm certain that God, the creator, would not be a debtor. So therefore, this confusion that's happened certainly has happened under a mastery of liars who follow their master, which is the devil. And that's why they're called devil's advocates. They would have no power without you basically falling prey to this. So they don't pray for you, they prey on you, and that's with P-R-E-Y, because they're predators, they're predators. They're trying to actually place the writing of the surname, which is registered after birth, and they're trying to put it at the same time of your birth, which is, I call them predators. So they're good at predating things to fool people. Based on trying to put two names together at the same time that did not occur at the same time. Because your given name was beforehand, because it was known beforehand, before it was placed on paper. So the other name that they're basically kind of prescribing onto you in the legal system is waiting, but again, it is registered after birth. So it's definitely timelines. It's after acquired legal title. It is not something that you had at birth. So I hope these scriptures have helped. The Holman Christian Standard Bible said he erased the certificate of debt. So that's cancellation. Another wording on it. So it's there's various. When I was looking that up, I was probably going on Bible Gateway at the time, and all these showed up as versions that were available for that particular scripture. So it even though I know that there's been problems in a lot of these Bibles, maybe adding things that should not have been there, but these seem to be the most coherent down the same subject matter. And at least that these will instruct us down the correct path, because if you are basically operating with indebtedness to legal title and endorsing it, and which is signing it and then putting your face beside it, well, you literally have agreed, whether you've been deceived or not, you're agreeing to something that's contrary to what has happened by God sending his son to cancel all debt. So you cannot be on God's side and be a legal debtor at the same time.